Radhe, his childhood lover, a milkmaid, a simple woman of the village. But with such unfaltering love and devotion, she has become so big that today you cannot talk of Krishna without Radhe. We don't say Krishna Radhe, we say Radhe Krishna. She has become as significant as Krishna or little more significant than him. She said, Krishna is with me, he's always with me. Wherever he is, whoever he is with, he's still with me. That's her perception. Krishna expressed to his mother that he wants to marry Radha. His mother said, she's not an appropriate girl for you because she's 5 years older than you and she's already betrothed to somebody else. Krishna said, I don't know all these things of appropriateness. From the moment she saw me, she has loved me and she has lived in me. So, I want to marry this girl. This argument went on between mother and son, and mother had no words to say, so she reported to the father. Then Nanda thought it's time to take him to the Guru so that let him speak. So Gargacharya and his disciple, who was to be Krishna's teacher, Sandipani, were there and they said, your purpose of life is different. It has been prophesied that you are the deliverer, you are the savior of dharma in this world. Krishna said, I don't wish to be a deliverer. I just love the cows and the bulls and the men and the women and the boys and the girls and the mountain and the trees here. I don't wish to go and deliver anything. I just want to live here. I'm in love with people, I'm in love with things around here. I just want to live here. I don't want to save anybody, I don't want to deliver anybody. I just want to live here. Then Gargacharya thought it's time to reveal the truth about his birth. So Gargacharya talked about the prophecy that Narada Muni had made, and Krishna is not Nanda and Yashoda's son. For the first time they revealed to him. Then Gargacharya said, Narada has clearly identified you, all the signs indicate it's you. And you have exhibited all the qualities that Narada talked about. Everything is right, you are that person that has been talked about by many sages, and Narada has fixed the date, time and place, and you fit into all that. It can't be wrong. All this descended upon him with such force. He just stood there silently and then slowly walked towards Mount Govardhan. A hill like this, he just walked up to the topmost point and just stood there looking at the sky. The sun was setting, looking at the setting sun. Suddenly a tremendous sense of empowerment went through him. This was his moment of enlightenment and reminder. He just stood there for many hours, realizing and experiencing so much within himself. When he walked down that hill, he was a completely different person altogether. That playful cowboy was gone. Suddenly, there was a new serenity about him. There was a completely new sense of dignity and divinity about him. When he walked down, all these days, these people who just played with him, who enjoyed his dance and music, suddenly they began to bow down to him. He did nothing. He just went up the mountain, stood there for a few hours and walked down. Suddenly anybody who saw him started bowing down to him, not knowing what they're doing. He knew he had to leave. But before he left, he organized an unscheduled rasa. He wanted to just for once dance and sing with his people. So he sang and danced and everybody knew he's leaving. Radha just worked herself into such a frenzy of ecstasy and bliss within herself, it just didn't matter to her. She just transcended the normal limitations of emotion and became so ecstatic and wild-eyed that nothing mattered to her. So Krishna went to her, he knew what it means to her. So he went to her, held her and he pulled out his flute from his waistband and gave it to her. "This flute is only for you. No more flute for me." Never again he played flute in his life. From that day onwards, Radha started playing flute like Krishna.
Krishna's enlightenment is not a state he achieved, but rather an intrinsic aspect of his divine identity. Avtaras like Krishna are manifestations of the Supreme Being who voluntarily incarnate in the world to restore balance and guide humanity. Krishna's birth is itself miraculous, occurring in a prison under adverse conditions, yet accompanied by divine science. He is born with full knowledge of his divine identity and mission, unlike human beings who must seek enlightenment through spiritual practice. From a very young age, Krishna displays supernatural abilities such as killing Putna and lifting the Govardhan hill to protect the residents of Vrindavan. These actions demonstrate his divine powers and his awareness of the cosmic order. His childhood, filled with miraculous events and divine play called Leela, symbolizes his continuous connection to the divine and his role in upholding Dharma. Krishna's enlightenment is unique because it is not the result of a journey or transformation, but rather an expression of his divine essence. He is often referred to as Purna Avatar, meaning the complete and perfect incarnation of the divine. As such, Krishna embodies the qualities of omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, which are attributes of an enlightened being. Krishna did not attain enlightenment in the traditional sense. Instead, he is born as an enlightened being, fully aware of his divine nature and mission. His life, teachings, and actions are all manifestations of his inherent divine consciousness. Krishna's role in Hinduism is not just as a teacher or guide, but as the Supreme Being himself who descends to earth to restore balance and lead humanity towards spiritual enlightenment. Through his teachings, particularly in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna offers pathways to enlightenment for all, showing that through devotion, wisdom, and righteous action, one can realize their divine nature and achieve liberation. Namaskaram.